Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join three Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers!
Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Kelly.
I'm Wendy. What are you laughing at?
As an homage to Carl's teeth from last summer, Wendy's sporting her new veneers.
What do you think? Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is
Hysterical.
so funny. I'm just going to bring it up now because
Let's do it.
let's do it. So I have this, I don't like my teeth. My teeth aren't white and it drives me a little bit crazy. So on TikTok, I've been scrolling and I keep seeing all these like pop-on veneers and, you put them in boiling water and, they're not crazy expensive. I can't afford real veneers. I am a working girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I order these pop-on veneers. I'm so excited to get them. I take them out of the box. I'm like, first of all, this is not even a real color. And second of all, they're like Halloween teeth. Like, are you kidding me? And then
They're so big.
They're so big. They're so big.
And you have a small mouth.
I do have
you know what I mean? Like, you have a thin face. Like,
yeah, I'm like, oh my God, like this is ridiculous. So listen, my heart broke for Karl when they talked about his big ass teeth and how upset he was about his teeth. And I can relate. I can relate to the bad teeth situation. So listen, I'm going to try and whiten them again. I don't know.
I have yellow teeth too. But what's interesting for you, I mean, I drink red wine, I smoke, and I drink coffee.
And I don't do
You don't do any of those things.
any of those things. And I do brush my teeth all the time.
Yeah, me too. And I use whitening toothpaste.
I do.
I
too.
have yellow teeth,
I do too.
and I have very thin teeth. So to get them whitened would break down the enamel even more. And it's not, I'm just going to have yellow teeth.
Yeah, me too. So listen, we can feel your pain, Karl. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. So we are talking about Summer House Reunion Part 2.
Yeah.
We pick up with Sierra talking to Lexi where we left off the last time about her dragging her in the press. Sierra says it was a low blow and Lexi apologized, to
She did
Sierra.
apologize. And listen, I personally don't think Lexi dragged her in the media. I think anything Lexi said was totally directed at Jesse. But with that said, Sierra is clearly entitled to feel the way however she feels.
I totally agree. And Sierra
Yeah.
says to her, be careful about the pictures that you paint, like leave me out of it. And Lexi does admit that she's mad at Jesse and that she felt like Jesse was gaslighting her and manipulating her. And especially when she watched it back, and I'll be honest with you, I felt like he was doing the same thing.
I mean, she's really, really coming at him hard. She's really saying all the things. Like, I'd really love to know what was said off camera. What I would also like to know is, and I am a fan of Lexi's. I'm not saying that she's lying or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to know how her other relationships were. Like,
well, they weren't on camera, so
I know we'll never know.
Yeah,
Josh isn't going to tell us. Let's face it.
And you can't compare it because the situation was she was new into the house. It was her and Emerald. Emerald, really, she didn't bond with him. She didn't really get a chance to know the other girls because she jumped in right away with Jesse. And
yeah,
Jesse was painting this picture that, she was very controlling and very jealous. I mean, Paige said, like, listen, I don't want you to think that we were ever like, we didn't like you. Like, that was never the case. Like, that's not how we felt.
right.
And
right.
And they her and Amanda, like they were both sad that this is how Lexi felt because that was not their intention. And I believe that. I believe that.
She said that he said the girls were trying to break them up.
Right.
Or he was insinuating that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty wild. But, I think that, first of all, let me just say this. The majority of the reunion so far has been about Lexi and Jesse. Why they don't have first seat next to Andy. I understand Paige. I understand Paige having first seat because of the breakup and Craig had first seat at the Southern Charm reunion. Amanda and Kyle should have been the last two on the couches. They should not have first seat. But I could see Kyle being the type of guy to have like a temper tantrum if he's not if he or Amanda are not for seat. But anyway, with that said, I think that Lindsay nailed it when she said basically it was all about the optics and how
Yes.
they were being perceived. And that's basically what ended their relationship. And I think she nailed it. How clear Lindsay thinks when it's not her relationship. I guess we're all like that, though. You can always look at somebody's relationship and be like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to your own, it's like, the fuck is going on?
It's so funny because when she was talking about it, she said it's obvious that you two both liked each other, and then that was, it was real, that was sincere.
Yeah.
As soon as she started talking and you could see the look on everyone's face, and, Paige said, "You nailed it." I saw, like, that is PR Lindsay. That's PR Lindsay. That's
Yeah.
who she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved that. I love that she, she put on her PR hat because that's who she was. That's how we met her.
It is who she was, and why she gave that up to be an influencer, I'll never
The
understand.
money, the money.
I guess yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, do what you do. That clearly seems like it's your passion, and you're obviously very good at it. So, well, maybe she'll go back to it. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to see. Andy had asked if the two of you, meaning Jesse and Lexi, possibly a friendship in the future. And Jesse said, "Yeah, I try, but it's really not my decision." And Lexi said, "No, I'm good." Which I'm good. I'm glad she said that. I'm
I'm
glad she
glad she
said that.
said it too. But has she learned nothing from the Real Housewives of New Jersey? Like, you have to play nice if
Yeah,
you want to be invited back.
I don't know that she cares.
I don't think she cares either.
I don't know that she cares.
She got enough exposure from that one season. I mean, she was already a working model, but now, this was
Yeah.
kind of put her on the map. I didn't know who she was before she was on Summer House, but I'm not some big fashionista either, following supermodels.
Right.
But now I would imagine I'm sure she was already getting booked, but I'm
Right.
sure she's getting booked more now. She was at the Sports Illustrated.
In Miami, did she
Yeah,
walk it?
I don't know if she walked it, but she was in pictures with people, I think.
Bethany walked it, and so did
God, she looked
Stassi.
amazing. Yeah, they both looked
Bethany.
amazing.
I mean, Bethany for her age, and I am in
She's
awe.
like muscular.
She is toned.
Yeah.
It's gotta be genetic with her too.
I'm sure it is. Bitch.
She looked
Oh,
amazing.
I'm
She really
kidding.
did. I
She
mean,
did. She
yeah,
did.
she really
Love
did.
her or hate her, she looked amazing.
She absolutely did. And then Andy says, "Okay, we're gonna say goodbye to Imrul."
Why? Why does Emerald have to leave?
I was so
You could just let him
aggravated.
sit on the end of the couch for the rest of this from
That was so annoying. I am so disappointed with the way that was handled. I really am.
Totally agree with you. Sidebar, did you see that they filmed the Atlanta reunion and Britt did not go?
No.
Kenya wasn't invited
I
and
knew
Britt
Kenya
did not
wasn't
go. Just came out.
Interesting. Okay.
Sidebar. So she won't be back either.
Yeah, which, I mean, we kinda called that.
Exactly.
So, as they're going on break, Lexi apologizes to Sierra and said, she's genuinely sorry. She really didn't mean to bring her into it, and she'd love to, move forward with her with a friendship when she's open to it. Sierra says that, she really appreciates that, and she's like, "Do you really think that I'm that stupid, like, to date another guy in the house after what happened last summer with West?" And I have to agree with her on that.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
think.
And then we see Jesse in the back with Kyle, and Kyle's like, "How you doing?" He's like, "Well, I think Lexi's just projecting on what she's feeling." Oh, okay.
She's projecting her feelings and she
Yeah.
hates you.
Yeah.
I will say this. I know that we don't get to see a lot of Gabby's life,
Right.
but did you see her like checking on Lexi, holding her hand?
The whole reunion.
Gabby is the ultimate girl's girl.
I agree
She's
with
the
that.
ultimate girl's girl. That's the friend you want. I
I
mean,
agree
don't
with
get me
that.
wrong. Paige was a great friend last reunion for Sierra too, like going at West. I thought that was great. But Gabby is a girl's girl. She doesn't know Lexi that well. She didn't know her before she came in on the scene, and she had her back 100% all through the season
Yes.
and now. So I do hope Gabby comes back, but I do kind of hope she shares a little bit more with us if she does come back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm indifferent on it, to be quite honest with you. I agree with you. I mean, she's telling her as Lexi's crying that, he's not worth shedding a tear over. And like you said, she was there hyping her up and she was holding her hand the entire time. But again, I'm kind of indifferent because I really didn't think that I don't think she brings that much,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If she comes
Yeah.
back, I just hope that we see a little bit more about her life. I mean, we heard about her family when she first came on, her sister, her parents, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then Andy says that they come back after the break, and Andy says this summer Lindsey was cool as a cucumber, and I dare say soft. Andy brings up last reunion. I didn't realize this. I knew that she was pregnant last reunion, but I really didn't realize that she had come out with her midriff showing. And when they showed that, I was like, holy crap.
She was just pregnant, so she wasn't showing. Like she had a, I mean, they were
Yeah.
calling it her revenge body, right?
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
she's always had that body, but
Yeah. A viewer asked Jesse why he had that stink face reaction when Lindsey announced that she was pregnant. And I honestly, I don't remember that. But when they
I don't
showed it, I
remember
was
it
like,
either.
oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah, that was
I
a
mean,
stank face.
it really was.
Yeah.
He's like, Jesse said, I think Lindsey knows that I was happy for her. I was just surprised. Like, I didn't believe what I was hearing. Like, she was here last year with Karl, and now she's back this year and she's pregnant. And she was like in the middle of that whole, head talk.
I mean, it was ridiculous. When they started doing the time lapse, it was like, my gosh, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it made sense when he explained
Nobody
it.
cares about you that much.
Listen, I'm here for Lindsey this season. I really am.
Me too. Me too.
And then Andy asked Karl what he thought when he heard about Lindsey's announcement. And he said he was genuinely happy for her. And then that's when a viewer called out Gabby for the things that she said about Karl and his non-lover boy Alk and his big ass teeth. And what does he bring to the party? And Karl, first of all, Gabby said, she was trying to, make her feel better. And
She
also,
acknowledged that what
yeah,
she was doing.
yeah. And Karl jumped in right away and said she texted me and apologized. And I accepted. He goes, but really what got me was what she said about my teeth. And that's when he goes on to explain all the problems with his teeth. And I honestly, I didn't realize.
No, me
Again,
neither.
I didn't realize it. But again, you're self-conscious about what you're self-conscious about, right?
Yeah.
Now that I've announced that my teeth are yellow, now everyone's going to be calling it out and be like, yep, you do have yellow teeth.
Yeah, I mean, we know.
Right. We
People.
know. What else? Andy said it was touching about on the anniversary of your brother's death. What you said, that the hardest thing about not being with Lindsey is not having her friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he brought that up. And Andy said, still miss that friendship. And he starts to get emotional. He's like, yeah. He's like, I didn't mean to get emotional, but like we had a lot of fun together. It's hard.
Yeah.
He's like, I had a love for her. I had a love for her family. She's an amazing person. It just wasn't right for our relationship. And losing a friend, no matter what the circumstances, sucks.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
asks Lindsey, if she misses Karl's relationship. And she's like, listen, I don't know that I'm there yet. But I thought, to be quite honest with you, the way the two of them handled it at this reunion, I was happy with it. I thought they both were very
Totally.
mature. I think Karl is a class act.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lindsey is growing up,
Mm-hmm.
now that she has a daughter, and I really think she's growing. I really do.
Totally agree.
And then Andy asked, like, what made you acknowledge it, in the club? And she's like, listen, I know how hard that was for him. And I think it's something that needed to be acknowledged. And once again, Karl appreciated it, said his family appreciated it. So I thought that was good. What I'm confused about with this reunion is they kept saying that we're going to learn something. Like, do you feel like you learned something?
Nothing.
Okay.
Even Jesse on a podcast said something shocking was going to come out.
Yeah.
Nothing shocking came out. Amanda was going to leave Kyle? Come on now.
Right.
One, I don't even believe it. And two, maybe that Lindsey's not with Turner anymore.
Or maybe that, all the lying that Craig did and all the covering up Paige did for him. But still, none of these things were shocking.
No, and we kind of knew that already. We knew
all
he
of
got
it.
kicked out of Amanda and Kyle's wedding. Like, we knew all this.
Right.
This is the problem with Bravo, though. Like, they hype everything up, and it's just not there.
Well, they do it because they want us to watch.
Of course.
Yeah. Then Andy asked Lindsey, why she doesn't live with Turner. And that's when she said, listen, we put our romantic relationship on pause. And everyone except for Gabby looked shocked.
Yeah.
And Kyle asked, when did this happen? Like, I was just with you. And she's like, no, like we were on pause then. And Wes, like, when I was there, and she's like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. How about that? West was there for 2 hours. He's like, I mean, guys aren't really going to pick up on that. And really, but
But like she said, they're really good friends and they
they
get along.
co-parent well,
They
and that's the most
co-parent
important
well.
thing.
So like what would you have noticed?
Right. Right.
She said that, they're like best friends. They're tag teaming with the baby. Andy asked if you are friends with benefits, and she said no. He said, "Do you date other people?" And she said, "I'm not there yet." And he said
She got pregnant very quickly when
she
they
did.
started dating.
She did, and she admitted that. I mean, she
Yeah.
admitted that on the
That's
show.
tough to begin with. A surprise pregnancy to begin with is a lot to handle. And then
Mhm.
not in a long-term like, it's just a lot, but it sounds like they gave it a good go, and again, as long as they're co-parenting well, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Andy said, "Is he dating other people?" And she's like, "I don't think so." And then Andy said, "Well, what if you found out that he was dating someone? What would you do?" And she's like, "Well, he would not be spending half the nights of the week at my house." So I'm glad that, and even, I don't know which one of them said it. Was it Gabby? No, one of them said, oh, no, was it Paige that said that, like, Lindsay is really like recognizing, like, or maybe it was Sierra, recognizing like where she's at in her life. Like, they don't have to be in this relationship. She's gone through having a pregnancy, having a breakup, engaged to be married. Like, there's so much going on. She's postpartum depression.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, she talked about that, yeah.
right. Like, there's a lot going on in a short amount of time. And she's mature enough to realize that and say,
Right.
listen, I have this baby. I want to be happy. I want to do this the way I want to do this. And who said that to her? Who recognized it?
I feel like maybe it was Sierra, like you said.
Yeah, I wish I could remember. I mean, and the other issue is she's public and he's private. And like she said, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So it's not like all of a sudden she could decide to
Yeah.
say, I don't want to
Yeah.
do this anymore. Everyone knows who she is.
Yeah. I don't follow her. I'm gonna have to start following her. I wonder if she does post pictures of the baby. I would imagine she does.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures of her and the baby with
Well, that's right. I
but
remember that.
I'll be quite honest with you, I don't know if it was the back of the baby or not.
Okay.
I don't know. I really wasn't paying that much attention to it.
Yeah. Well, we saw her at the reunion when they took a lunch break,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Did you notice the commercials with Sierra? Sierra had a Nissan commercial and some cleaning thing.
Yes.
She's getting a lot of commercials.
Yeah, good for her.
Absolutely.
Good for her.
Yeah, that's great.
Angie then says Carl was a different animal re-entering the dating scene and launching a new business all at his own pace. Andy asked if you were upset to Lindsay seeing Carl bring a girl into the house. And Lindsay said, no, I wasn't. I wasn't there that weekend, and Carl was going to have fun. That was the weekend to do it. She's like, but what did annoy me is for him to do, like, talked about where I conceived my daughter. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't want
that
to,
was yeah.
and Lindsay said, I don't know why you're talking about me where I conceived my daughter. And then all of a sudden that she's like, well, we didn't conceive my child on a bed. So in general, so it wasn't that bed. And Carl was like, I take full responsibility and I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he was just assuming.
Right. As one would.
Yeah, as one would. But you know what? Why would he assume that? Because who's to say Turner didn't have a bed? Like, why would you assume it's at your bed in that
I think
apartment?
yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
You're right.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mom or Queen, mom of 3, lover of lipstick and tiara wearing, believer that God always has a plan.
And I'm Maddie, Broadway obsessed, vintage loving, beauty junkie, and yes, her youngest.
We're 40 years apart, but totally in sync when it comes to fashion, beauty tips, and life's fabulous little moments.
Join us every week on Rouge and Review, where we mix heart, humor, and a whole lot of glam.
Subscribe now wherever you get your podcast. Andy asked Kyle, you know Carl the best out of everyone. Like, what is different about him now as opposed to him entering the house 9 years ago? And I was actually surprised what he said. He's like, going back, Carl on the weekend was not the Carl that I knew during the week. Like, he was on substances on the weekends. which I don't know. I'm just surprised he said that, to be quite honest with you.
Well, I mean, he said worse,
He absolutely has said word, but he
so it is kind of
apologized.
surprising that no, I know, but it's
Yeah.
surprising that he would say anything like that again,
Yeah.
after that having affected their friendship.
Yeah.
Even though they got past it, thank God, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But everyone in the house agrees that like they love Karl the way he is now, and they don't want him to change. And I do too. I like the Karl that's there.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
we go to Kyle and Amanda. I
Snooze
mean,
fest.
yeah. Andy's like 4 years ago, Kyle and Amanda plans to start a family are on the back burner, and while their marriage seems healthier than ever, would we ever see the day when an aspiring DJ and a swimsuit designer ever have a baby? Okay, well, he's not.
Dramatic.
I know, exactly. Whatever. It's like, really? But then we find out that in the beginning of the summer, Amanda and Kyle had a long conversation, and they do show you a clip of it, so it was filmed. What he needed to do to see them move forward. And she says that she had one foot out the door. This honestly does not surprise me. It doesn't.
Not at all.
Kyle admits that he knew the relationship was on shaky ground, so it didn't surprise him either. He says that he needs to stop thinking of the Hamptons as like his last hurrah, and getting drunk on the weekends is his big release because he is a workaholic.
Yeah, but okay, so you're obsessed with work, right?
Right.
You're obsessed with work. Now you're DJing on the weekends? Like,
Right.
he's not, yes, he's definitely a workaholic, but he's putting everything else first before her is basically the problem. And until he stops doing that, she's not going to want to have a baby with him. Who the fuck would?
Right. No, I totally agree.
You grow up.
I
Grow
agree.
up. Now you're a DJ?
Yeah.
Come on. He annoys the shit out of me.
So a viewer asked Kyle about when he went on vacation with Amanda, how she was very romantic. And don't you think that if you were around more and you were giving, if you weren't such a workaholic, that you would get that from her? And you could see Amanda shaking her head, yes. And Kyle goes to say something and Amanda's like, yeah, like, yes, that's exactly it. And Kyle said, well, everything I'm doing is, to build a future for us. Amanda's like, but if you keep working like this, there's going to be no future. There's going to be no us.
Right. Like I'm going to leave.
Right.
When is enough enough?
Right. I didn't realize that his end game for Loverboy was to sell it.
Me
Did
neither.
you?
Nope.
But, Amanda kind of breaks down the day. Like he gets up early, goes to the gym, works all day. She makes him dinner. I guess they still live across the street across the hallway.
Yep.
From the
their
office, right?
Yeah.
So he comes over and eats and then goes back to the office, finishes emails. Then on the weekends, he's traveling and doing, like, he's never around.
He's never around. Who would want to have a baby with somebody like that? I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Some people are, I have friends who are married to, and their husbands travel a lot for work. And that's, hard. But they're not traveling for work, and then when they don't have to travel, choosing to do something else where they're not around.
Right.
Like he is not around during the week because he's across the hall working, and then he's choosing to travel on the weekends to go DJ for a hobby.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Kyle says, I'm trying to front load it so that when we do have a family, I can be around. And that's when we find out that the plan is to sell Loverboy. Because even Amanda said, I'm hoping he'll sell Loverboy. I mean, how many years has he had Loverboy now at this point?
As long as he's been on the show.
Right? It's been 9 years.
Absolutely. First season, Loverboy was a thing.
So how is it not ready to be sold yet? Like, what else do you have to do?
I mean, it's going on 10 years.
Right? I don't know.
And I give him credit. I've said it before. Like they're basically a hard seltzer, right?
Well, no, because he said when they were talking about it, it was a tea. It was a hard iced tea. It wasn't carbonated. That was
I think the other ones were. I don't know. But he was like one of the first to do this.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it hasn't taken off. Maybe they suck. Who knows? I know they're damn expensive.
Yeah, that could be part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
That could be part of it. So then Andy asked Kyle how old he is, and Kyle's 42. Amanda said, Kyle's not ready to have kids. And Kyle said, well, are you? And she's like, yeah, I'm ready to have kids with someone who's ready to have kids.
Right.
With me,
especially because, and I give her a lot of credit for this, because I had postpartum depression and it came out of nowhere. I never saw it coming. She is aware of her mental health issues and she's planning, like she's preparing how to deal with it. Like that's so good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
know that you might have these issues and a partner that's not going to be around. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric had to go to Vegas for a work conference when Tess was 3 weeks old. And I was, had postpartum depression. I was beside myself. My best friend came and stayed with me for the week.
Yeah. I mean, and then we find out that the medicine that she's taking, she can take when she's pregnant, which that's amazing, right?
Yep.
And we find out from Lindsay that she also had postpartum depression, and she applauds, Amanda for recognizing it and taking the steps and talking about it and, for having the foresight to plan.
Yeah. Sierra asked a great question. She asked Kyle, like, what about enjoying your time now without kids? Like, you're saying that you're working so hard now to prepare for when you have kids so you can be around. Like, what about being around now? Like, seriously, I picture poor Amanda sitting in that fucking room, what I keep going to say hotel room, but their apartment and like alone with her 2 dogs, like, twiddling her thumbs while he's not that she doesn't work. I'm just saying at night when it's time to relax, like she's sitting there alone.
Well, she does say right now she's focusing on her and Kyle's focusing on himself, and they're both in a good place. That's why she came out with her swimsuit line. That's why she's doing stuff for her. And I'm glad she is.
Yeah.
I'm glad she is.
Yeah.
And then Andy asked Amanda if she considered freezing her eggs, and she said yes. And Kyle said that he has his sperm on ice. I just think this is so weird, these men putting their sperm on ice.
It's very weird because men can have babies into their 90s. So
I know. Like, what
is it necessary or?
Especially considering Kyle announced, I mean, how many his count was in the beginning of the season. I mean,
exactly.
Why are you putting those on ice? Seriously.
Right.
What's going to happen?
They're good.
Yeah. And then that's when he brought up Craig, and he said, oh, Craig also has his sperm on ice. And Paige is like, well, good for him. And then Andy brings up the spritz cocktail drama.
I mean, listen, it's not looking good. It does look like Craig is a big fat liar.
Yes, it does. I said this from the very beginning. I was Team Paige, and you were like, nope.
I'm still not Team Paige. I see why she did what she did. I definitely think she had every right to break up with him. We're not seeing him being unsupportive, but he must have been, right? We're not seeing him being unsupportive on Southern Charm or Summer House at all. But if she's telling the truth, then he must have been unsupportive.
Right.
But I mean, not that I completely 100% believe Kyle, because I don't really believe any of them, what any of them say. But I guess if like 6 people are calling you a liar. Did you see what Kristen Cavallari came out and said?
No, but I heard she did say something about him, right? Did she used to date him?
It was a very short time. It was around the time that Madison and Austin broke up. And Madison, I think, was DMing Jay Cutler, her ex, Kristen Cavallari's ex. There was something going on.
Okay.
But yeah, she did not have nice things to say about Craig. But I don't like her either, quite honestly. And her being on Watch What Happens Live with Amanda the other night, I'm like, that's kind of calculated. But
I didn't get to see.
I mean, all fingers are pointing to Craig being a liar. I mean, his own castmates have said it.
Yes, they have. They have. I mean, he has said it himself.
He said it. He said it on the show. He told his life coach.
Yeah.
Like, it's very easy for me to lie. And she was like, huh?
Yeah. Then it comes up about, Kyle says that he didn't really, until it was brought up in the summer about the Craig situation, Kyle really didn't talk to Paige about it because he really didn't know how much of it she knew. And then when he realized by the text messages he was getting from Craig that Craig doesn't know what's going on. So how the heck could Paige? Like, everything he was saying was a contradiction. And he was saying stuff like, well, I didn't know you did a spritz. And so we're doing a tea. Now, meanwhile, Kyle's like, we've been doing a tea from the very beginning. And then I didn't know this, but I'm doing this. Oh, but my investor said this, but I was asking your opinion, but I already signed it. And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And
It was a
he's-
lot.
it was a lot. It was a lot. And he said, like, after he explains all this, he's like, I was like, I can't with this guy. And Sierra's like, that was the most white boy thing ever.
That was funny.
I was like, it's so true though. And that is actually one of the things I like about him, because like, this is who he is. Like, he's just like, he's like a kind of like a politician. Like, he wants to make everything okay. Like, he doesn't want to throw him under the bus. He wants to, like, accept it for what it is. Like, Andy said, why did you apologize to him? He's like, well, I was just trying to, like, make things okay.
Bigger person.
Right. Be the bigger person.
The thing about the wedding is very interesting, because I remember hearing that he didn't want to use a porta potty outside.
That's why he was going in the house.
Insisted on going in the house. And, I don't know if you remember this, but on Winter House, so it must have been the second season, because Paige and Craig were dating by now, because they weren't dating the first season.
Right.
Of Winter House.
Right.
Second season they were dating. And Kyle and Amanda normally get the nice primary suite wherever they stay. And Craig was like, I'll pay you. I'll pay you right now $500. I'll pay you for the primary suite. Like, Craig was being a brat. And
obnoxious. Yes, I do remember that.
And then when it came time to like cleaning up after a party or something, Craig wouldn't do it. Which, by the way, Paige doesn't either, though. She never cleans. And
she never
Craig
does.
wouldn't either.
No.
He was acting very, he must have just like really started making money with his business or whatever, but he was acting very like hoity-toity. And that must have been how he was acting at Amanda's house. Amanda's parents' beautiful house in, I believe, I forget what town it is. It's near Princeton. Is it Hightstown? Wherever. No, I forget what town it was in.
Somewhere in New Jersey.
Beautiful, beautiful. So this, Amanda's father's obviously very successful. And Craig must have gone in there and just acted like a complete.
Yeah.
And then she said she asked him to apologize to Amanda's parents and he refused.
That's crazy.
I mean, talk about no self-awareness. We all make mistakes. We all do things we're a little embarrassed about when we're drunk. The best thing you can do is wake up the next morning and apologize.
Yeah. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was asked to leave the property. She said that he was kicking tables. He was yelling at people. He was acting like an entitled brat. I was like,
holy cow.
Andy said, is there anything else you feel like you had to lie about to protect him? Paige, like, honestly, like, I've never had to lie my entire life. And that's all she did was lie to cover up for him.
I mean, listen, there was a reason he stopped drinking when he did. And that must have been it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, he did always say she, made him a better person. And honestly, listen, I understand she wanted him to defend her with the cheating rumor. I don't think anyone ever believed that Paige cheated on him. I never believed she cheated on him.
No, I didn't either.
I don't think anybody did. I understand her feeling the way she felt. She wanted him to defend her, but honestly, I don't even think it was necessary because I don't think anybody believed it to begin with. He kind of made himself, and I agree with him that she broke up with him. He doesn't owe her anything anymore.
I agree with that. But what she was saying is, and she even said, I don't think he owes me anything, but he didn't have to like double down and like lean into, well, she wanted other people.
Yeah,
Because,
no, I don't agree with
like,
that. Yeah.
that's what he did. Like, that's what he said,
I think that what happened was nobody saw it coming. We were all shocked. As Bravo fans, we were all shocked. Finding out that she was the one who initiated it. She started getting a lot of heat in the media over it.
Mm-hmm.
And he just let it all play out. He just stayed silent and let her take all the heat because his ego was bruised.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
She says she'll never say his name again, but she actually did say his name in the first reunion episode.
I know, but maybe
from now going forward, I'm never saying his name again.
Yep. Good for her.
I think that eventually they'll probably get to a better place, but I don't blame her for being where she's at right now.
I actually
don't.
I don't think they will get to a better place. I don't think there's any reason for them to. He's in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in New York.
BravoCon's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, did you see who's going to BravoCon from New Jersey?
Yeah.
It's
Basically Rachel and Danielle are the only two that aren't
are
confirmed to
not
go.
going. Yeah. Or Jen Eden. Jen Eden's not going. Yeah. We're never going to see her again.
I don't think we are ever going to see her again, which is, I don't like her, don't get me wrong, but I'd like one season of her on the show without Teresa.
I don't need that. Thanks.
Not interested, huh?
No. No, thank you.
Big no for Wendy.
So Andy tells his side of this, Craig's side of the story of the breakup, and then Paige tells her side. We don't need to go into the whole thing. Everyone knows it now at this point, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think we can all agree that it's best that they're not together anymore.
Yes, definitely. And what else happens? So then summer's just around the corner. And Lindsey, despite what your castmate said, Lindsey said to West, fuck you, spending time in the Hamptons. Do you plan on spending time, in the Hamptons this year? And she's like, yes, I do. But I don't know if I'll be living at the house every weekend. It's my first summer with Gemma. And I'm really excited for that. So I think that's, kind of telling us where she's at. And I think that's a good place to be at. Don't close the door. Don't just leave it out there. I did like that Karl talked about Kyle meeting Gemma, and we saw that scene, how he thinks he'll be a good, dad. I do too. I think Kyle, if he's present, I think he will be a good dad. You don't agree.
I think that Kyle is a very selfish person. I don't think Kyle's maybe. I mean, if he gets past that.
Yeah. So then
I understand he wants to be financially set. I wish I were more like that personally. But I don't know. I think he just likes to do whatever Kyle wants to do.
Well, Amanda said a couple more years. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in a couple of years, right?
I wonder what her parents really think of him.
I don't think we'll find out anytime soon. Not as long as they're together. I mean, if they're not, maybe we'll find out. But I doubt it. I don't think that they would. I don't think that.
No, just like that whole thing with Paige's father was.
Yeah, there's no way he
nonsense.
said that. There's no way he said that. So Andy says, well, Paige and Amanda got to try Lindsey's breast milk, so we brought out some for everyone else to try. And he said, I'm only kidding. And they bringing out little baby white Russians. He says, except for Karl. Karl gets to try it. I was just like, he is really like a comedian tonight. And Karl's face. He's like, no. So Karl got oat milk. Everyone else got the white Russians. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
And I guess we just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, it's June 5th right now that we're recording this. And they're going to be filming within the next month. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who actually shows up and what's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. It sounds like Kyle and Amanda are coming back, though, because on Watch What Happens Live, she said, she had to ask her castmates questions. And her question to Lindsey would be, can you come spend the weekends with us in the Hamptons and please bring baby Gemma?
Yeah.
So they're planning on being there. Listen, I'm sure everybody's coming back except Emerald because he got kicked off the couch. Ridiculous. I think they should give him another season and see I think they should bring all these people. Well, I don't know. I change my mind every week.
I don't know either. Okay. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Why Whenever. Please subscribe and tell your friends and give us 5-star reviews. Bye.
Bye.